guys, welcome back to Homemade Food Junkie. If you're new to our channel, we do a lot of recipe videos, some product unboxings and reviews if you want to check that out. We also have a food blog. I don't know if we've mentioned that before, but we have a food blog that's about 4 years old now, and we have hundreds of recipes on the food blog. So I will link that down below as well if you want to check that out. So today we are making low carb chicken Alfredo asparagus dinner. It's really good. I make it all the time for my family. And there's really not much ingredients to it. There's asparagus, there's chicken breast. I like to get chicken tenders for this recipe because we're gonna probably slice them up a little bit, but they're already thin sliced. Other than that, it's a little bit of Creole seasoning, salt and pepper, and some Alfredo sauce. So you have the option to use regular store-bought Alfredo sauce in just a jar like this, or you can make your own Alfredo sauce. Very simple, very easy. We do have a recipe for that on the blog, and I'll link it down below as well. So let's get started. Okay, so one of the first parts of this recipe is chopping asparagus and getting it ready to steam. At this point, you're also going to want to prep your chicken breast, and all that means is you really want to get it seasoned. You can season it up earlier in the day and stick it in the fridge if you really want it to kind of marinate in those seasonings. What I would do is just like really coat all of those pieces of chicken with all your seasoning, maybe put a little bit of oil in and roll them around so they really get nice and marinated in the spices. I actually have never pre-marinated my chicken breast for this recipe. It tastes really good just going ahead and using it because I'm not a plan ahead person, so I never remember until like right before dinner that I need to do that. So that's what we're going to do today, is just we're going to go ahead and season up the chicken breast, cut up the asparagus, and get rolling. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to do here is season up our chicken breast. I have pepper, I have salt, and I have Creole seasoning. This is Tony Chachere's. I'm probably butchering that. I think it's French. But it's really good Creole seasoning. So what you're going to do here is just make sure each piece has a really good amount of salt on it. We're going to do this to both sides. Now, if you were going to marinate this, I would suggest doing this in a bowl, tossing it up real quick, and just putting saran wrap over it and putting the bowl in the fridge. But since we're just going to go straight to pan frying, I'm going to do it this way and lay them out and really make sure every piece of chicken has a really good coating of seasoning on it. And you can see those ridges on the bottom. See that? Pepper falls straight out. So there's your hack for the day. And the Creole seasoning. This is, I said it's very good. I say it all the time, but it's got a little tiny hint of spice to it. Not much, barely anything, but you can kind of taste it if you put a whole lot on. So if you're not huge on spice, then I would just kind of, stick a little bit on each chicken breast instead of really coating it in. I also like to kind of rub it in with my finger and get all of the seasonings kind of driven down into the meat. So the next step is getting ready to pan fry and cook this chicken breast. So we're going to go ahead and cook our chicken breast, and you're just going to need a little bit of olive oil. I like to use extra virgin olive oil. We have our pan set to medium high right in the middle there, and you just put a good dose of olive oil in there. So that's a good amount of olive oil, and we're going to start putting our tenders in. If your tenders are a little too big to fit in the pan, then just chop them in half, just like that. Okay, so we're going to let those cook up for a little bit, and we're going to stick a lid on it to help them cook. Okay, we're going to cover that, and we are going to set a kitchen timer for about 5 minutes. When the 5 minutes are up, we're going to go ahead and flip those over so they cook evenly on the other side as well. Okay, so while our chicken is cooking, we're going to prepare the steamed asparagus. So we already have our asparagus cut into about inch and a half sections. Now, to steam asparagus, it's incredibly easy. I like to use a steamer basket. That's what this thing is. If you guys have never seen one before, it flips out and sits in the bottom of this pot. And what you do is you just fill water up right to the edge of these little feet. You don't want water going up above the basket, just to the edge. So about 1 inch of water in the bottom of the pot. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so you can see I have my steamer basket sitting there right in the middle. It just sits down there. You can tell I have a little bit of water down there, and all you have to do is put your asparagus right in the top of that little basket, and we are going to put this on our stove. I like to just boil the water for 5-6 minutes and cover the top so all the steam gets trapped in there. Okay, so we have our chicken cooking over here. We have our asparagus steaming over here. The lid is on, steamer basket, and asparagus. Now, pretty soon we're going to flip the chicken over so it cooks evenly on both sides and gets a nice sear. So it was 5 minutes. I went ahead and flipped the chicken, and the chicken looks like it's getting done a little quicker than when I cook a normal big chicken breast. So I'm only going to do 3 minutes on the next side, and I turn my heat down to medium. You just have to be really flexible when you're cooking, because some chicken's a lot thicker, a lot thinner, and you got to kind of know, like if it looks like it's really cooking fast, just turn it down. It's not a big deal. But you do want to make sure you're always watching that meat really carefully. So at the end of this cooking time, we're going to take the lid off. If there's excess oil sitting in the bottom of the pan, we're going to go ahead and dump out the oil. And we're going to add in our Alfredo sauce next with our asparagus. Okay, so our chicken is cooked. I just poured off some of the excess oil, and our next step is to add in our steamed asparagus and Alfredo sauce. So as you can see, when asparagus cooks, it kind of gets more of a vibrant green in color. And what you want to do, a good test for asparagus, is just take a fork and see how easy it is to pierce. Mine is still a little bit on the crunchy side, so I'm going to let it go for another minute. If you overcook it, it will become soft and rubbery, so you really want to make sure you're checking that during the cooking. Okay, so the asparagus is all done, so you just grab your steamer basket. I would wear mitts because it's kind of hot and steamy. So there's your asparagus, and you're just going to dump it right into the chicken here. Okay. So we added our asparagus to the chicken, and now we will just add in our Alfredo sauce. And at this point, all we're doing is letting the Alfredo sauce warm up. You can either use homemade Alfredo sauce, or you can use Alfredo sauce in a jar. Up to you. So at the end, all we're going to do is garnish with some chopped parsley and some shredded Parmesan cheese. This is curled parsley, this is Italian parsley. It's up to you what you want to use. I like to use flat leaf Italian parsley for this, so that's what I'm going to do today. Alright, so that's our meal. It looks awesome and really good. So what I like to serve this with is usually a side Caesar salad. You can make your own, or you can get one of the ones that come in a bag. Get the light version if you're eating kind of low carb. You can also do a side of steamed veggies with this. This makes excellent leftovers. I always send some with my husband to work for the next day. And it's a really good, filling, low-carb meal. So if you're looking for quick, easy, low-carb, gluten-free, something yummy that the kids will eat, this is your dinner. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye-bye.